What's up, everyone? I kind of want to briefly just go over like my process and how I go about crafting my sounds and what I look for, and I think it'll be pretty cool to just show you guys. So let's get it. Before I even get into even the first sound, I like to think like how many tracks I want, and normally I don't go over like 10. Like this one I think has only 8, and I normally like to make like ambient just tracks or just like soundscapes and stuff like that, so I don't really think too much on the arrangement or how many sounds I have to have. But of course, having a number and something I don't want to go over is kind of helps a little bit, but I don't think about it too much. Before I even have all these chords, like I'll just kind of delete them like this. So like this, just go down what I did for this specific track, and then that's when I build my stuff, where I would add like this notes and then this and this. Knowing music theory can help, but I'll be honest, I don't know too much. I guess I've been making music for a while where I kind of understand what sounds good and what doesn't sound good, but of course I'm never perfect, so some stuff might sound good, some stuff might not sound good. It could be out of theory, but I would just say train your ears a little bit, and then stuff like this will kind of be a little bit more easier. And for the actual sound itself, something soft is what I like to go for. This is the preset I'm using in the VST. It's called Colt. Sounds kind of hollow, which I really like. Next, let's see. Now, after I get the bass down, I like to have something weird, something that you probably wouldn't really think about using. Like, it's like when you go through your VSTs and you go through the presets and you try to find something that doesn't really sound like an instrument or like a sound you would use melodically, but it still has a pitch. So you're like, okay, I can still work with this, and this is that sound. Like, let me just play this note for you. Like, you see how it doesn't really sound like something you would really want in a track, because it sounds more like a sound design sound, like something you'd hear like as a sound effect in a video game or in a movie, but you can still use this in the music because it has a pitch, and it could be something where you can manipulate it to your liking. And for the MIDI or for like the placements of the notes, as long as I'm in key, it doesn't really matter too much where I put it. So yeah, I have C sharp, E, F sharp, pretty standard. And also, one quick thing, I think having a sound that matches like the mood of a track can really help. This sound sounds a bit like gloomy and kind of depressing, and I think it worked with this track. And that's just one thing I like to keep in mind, where when I listen to a sound, even without it being like in a melody or in some kind of like music formation, how does it sound? Like, how does it behave, and what kind of emotions does it make me like think of? Next, I think this is the bass. Oh yeah, this is the easy part. I just, would take my chords and then take those bottom notes and then place them onto another pattern. For the actual sound itself, this sounds more like distorted. I think I chose it to be distorted so it sticks out a little bit more. Usually if you have a sub bass only, like a sub bass in a track, it's kind of hard to hear it unless you like have it louder or something like that, or add saturation. But when something has distortion and it's on the bass, it stands out a little bit better and sounds more dramatic too. Ooh, I like this next part. I think these are the strings. Yeah. I really love having strings with these kind of tracks, especially if it's sci-fi related or technologically related. I think strings just like adds that cool element to whatever track you're making. Now, this might look like it doesn't really sound good, but it's heavily manipulated, so don't let the looks fool you. I think this is more of like a regular pluck. Let me just kind of... Yeah, it's more of a pluck. And what I did was I chopped it up a lot by just kind of going to this icon up here and then hitting arpeggiate, and it just kind of did it for me. And for the velocities, I just randomized it as well by also going to this icon up here, and then I would just hit humanize, just so that it sounds more dynamic volume speaking wise. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. Just move myself on the other side so you can see my effects for this sound. I use micro shift. I think this is like a chorus effect to kind of spread it out more and give it more unison. And then I have phase mistress, which kind of gives it that psychedelic and very like spectral kind of feel, which I really think added to the just vibe and feel of this whole track. Of course, Space Blender or just some reverb can be nice. And then lastly, for my favorite part, I have the panning. It sounds simple, but I just love having automation and movement in my tracks. As you can see, it's moving pretty fast, and then it's just going back and forth in that sequence. And then let me go ahead and play it. This is a pretty cool touch to the track. It sounds like a Vox. I think it is, but it's a synth, so there's a lot of manipulation and synthesis involved in the sound. Let me see. It adds like a nice airy texture to everything, even though it's pretty quiet. It's one of those elements where you kind of just notice it, you know, especially if you're an active listener. When you listen to music, like if you were to pay attention to all the elements of the track and all the sounds, you would be like, oh, this sounds pretty cool, and it really just elevates the track in cool ways. I think I followed my root notes for this one because, yeah, I had the same notes, F sharp, E, and then D. So, yeah, the MIDI wasn't too complicated, and here's the sound. And then finally, we have arcade vocals. For the longest, I would always include this in my stuff. I think vocoders just adds a timeless effect to whatever track you're using because they've been around since like 20th century, like late 20th century. So no matter what track you add them to, or not track, or like genre, I think it just fits if you just use it correctly. Just two phrases. We have this one, and then this. Also, fun fact: if you're using arcade vocals, you can manipulate them by like, let's just do C. When you press the black key, it manipulates it. So if you didn't know that, you can do that, and it just opens like a whole new realm of just like opportunities and capabilities, which is so sick. And that's pretty much it. Let me see. Play from like right here, so you kind of hear everything at once in unison. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button if you're new, subscribe if you're new as well. All my social media links will be in my description, and if you want to listen to my music, that's also going to be in my description too, or in my YouTube channel, like links, like if you know what that is. And yeah, see you in the next one. Thank you.